Good evening. Alisoft released a Rance 35th anniversary box 2 years ago. Finally, we have a collection box, all in one. Seeing it on my shelf makes me feel nice, not to mention I pre-ordered 2 sets. Fuck yeah. Now my room becomes a Rance theme park. All of this just happened in 2 years. Some of my pals feel so puzzled about this because I was not that interested in God game, even when I was a teenager. Well, it depends.
3 years ago, you guys see how my living fucks me upside down when I was just a little kid, which also means I have a vague cognition about that beautiful world, yeah, through those magazines like Two Dimensions Mania.
Those magazines are so hardcore. It has a God game only section. It introduced dozens of special PC games which I completely don't know from then. Look at those games, they look so adorable. Those articles plant a seed of curiosity from that time, and now it blossoms. Look, I just picked one up and turned out to be the one of the AVGN news, but I could never find this one with Rance 9 info. Today we are going to do a review of the whole Rance series. There are 13 games in the series, 10 mainline titles, 2 side-numbered entries, and 1 badass spin-off. They were released from 1989 to 2018, which neatly coincides with the beginning at the end of the Heisei era. Pretty cool. The 1, 2, and 3 was remaked and have a prefix 0 on the title. I'll try to be a nice guy here. Of course, I will reduce the spoiler as far as I can. Let's cut to the chase. Quest for Hikari is a classic mini-tale. This story has already been told 3 times. The original version in 1989, the remake version in 2013, and the OVA anime that concluded in 2014. The remake aka 01 was advertised as a game your dad might have played. But that may not happen in our country. More people here came to know the series through the final episode of the anime, so it doesn't need a spoiler alert. Because recently the kidnapper may be more famous than the game itself, and we start from the remake version. Before the story starts, Rance bought a slave seal plane in a normal quest and lived her for some months. Then here comes the contract. He accepts the mission to find the missing noble schoolgirl Hikari and comes to the capital of the Great Eastern country Lisas to investigate. While Seal was sent to the school for information gathering, Rance acts alone in the town. Every single decision you made in the map spans time, and most of the places have a specific time open, like Simon's Quest. So you control Rance and investigate in the pace you like. Then the ninja shows up. Uh-oh, you have been marked because both of you two act too conspicuous. Better stop what you are doing. My ass! I want to know why the killer always sends someone to give you some information you need every time the investigation hits a dead end. After talking to one of the victims, we locked on the royal palace. By the way, you are able to help the girls you see in the town. Most of them ask you to find some item or beat some villains. Those are side quests, but why bother? There are always rewards in the end of a quest, right? Sometimes it could be money, sometimes honor.
So what does Rance ask for reward? 6.
Yes, this is a God game series. It focuses on cute girls. In most of the God games, the fat parts must be cute girls. And you may know this marker, which means in the scenario game, adult only. Yeah, finally we step into danger zone. Alright kids, it's time to go to sleep, because this time we're not talking about games that you can enjoy with your parents and kids together, like Tom and Jerry in Fist of Fury, Smash Bros, or Metal Gear Solid. You know what? Fuck it. I will not watch my word anymore. It better get ready. You may have heard that Rance is a dangerous man. It is real. He had his first sex when he was a little kid, and after he grown up, he believed he will get all the pretty girls in the whole world. When you see this cover, you may guess that nobody could escape from him. However, the villain always do much worse than him, which make Rance so kind. Actually, there was an extra part in that part 3 of OVA's DVD. It tells about how Princess Leia and her omnipotent servant Maris tortured the victim after kidnap. One day they got a big fucking gorilla, which is even bigger than an IMAX screen. Oh my god, his dick is as huge as grown human. Maybe they want to let you know the situation is fucking animal and can't wait to capture the kidnapper after watching that. Sorry, I laughed my pants off. And the black humor like this are everywhere. Many of the brutal things are light written because this is the one of the main theme of the series. Believe it or not, the world here is not in peace. Somebody on the forum called it rape comedy. Nice try. So what Rance going to do is giving a serious punishment to the villain with his dick, aka hyper weapon, and make connection with the other cute girls. The end of the main quest and the side quests are the same. Sex, sex, sex. But in fact, he doesn't have much chances to rape them because he is not that animal, for now. So you need to let the girls feel nice, let them owe you one or get the handle, to have sex. Yeah, the sex scene is a reward, it makes you feel so sweet as a reward, which means it may be no more when you separate it from the story. Wake up, we got a job to do. Where's our Hikari? She isn't in the room, just in the neighborhood. Look at Rance, he is also terribly shocked too. So he secured the VIP, mission accomplished. Or is it? Rance lost his shit at that time. Whoever tortures cute girls to death must face a serious judgment. So the main objective is updated, capture Princess Leia. Then the ninja shows up again at the emergency exit. Hey! You know, Leia is the main dish here, so Rance is not going to waste any time. Let's go, Economy.
Ninja full speed. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Well, that happens from time to time. In the end, Rance punished Princess Leia with his dick. Brutality, case closed, the end. It is pretty simple, right? Because it's just a gist. So how's the game? The main quest and the side quest are 50-50. I feel the same with the howlongtobeat.com. Look at these item slots. I don't feel this tight even when I played Resident Evil 2. Some items that let you see traps and check enemy HP. You can just eat them to recover health? I want to know what the hell that bod, dude or magazine tastes like. And healing items are not usable in the battle, so if you don't want to die suddenly, you'd better plan everything in advance, or just grind your level into the stratosphere. The map is fixed, which means you can memorize the order of these cars and plan out a safe route. And you have to, because tougher enemies will drain a ton of HP, which means more healing items and more item slot wasted. If you die in an area, go back to the beginning of the current area, no retry. Oh, and saving outside the hotel? Yeah, that also costs an item called Save Line. The design language of this game feels like it's heavily inspired by casinos, where weapons and items even seals attack are poker chips, and when you don't have info items, a ton of information is just a none. So yeah, a huge part of this game is basically gambling. You throw out this automated weapon attack that takes 5 turns to cool down, and you have no idea if that move is gonna save your life or get you killed on the next turn. As a remake of the first game, it shows young and aggressive. As for the other aspect, there's no much to talk about. It's still just a classic turn-based RPG. The Rance series always do the exact opposite of what normal JRPGs do. This world doesn't have dogs, they are only boy monsters called Wang Wang. Goblins aren't what you expect either, they look like some kind of scripted doodle monster. They can disable magic, it could be used when you want to fuck a magician. The series has been anti-conformist from day one. Let's not forget, this is still just the first game. Next game, Ace Attorney... Rest 02. You may find it looks more dated, less luxury than the previous one, but how could it be? In fact, 02 is the first game got a remake in 2009, which is originally included in the minigame collection box Alice 2010. So, it is only a low-level remake, no change on gameplay, it's just a classic 2D dungeon crawling game. It later became a freeware. By the way, this Alice 2010 box is heavy, it's filled with goodies, which make me remember some box filled with duties. Like this, Awakening of the Trailblazer, my most hated and disappointed anime. Lots of God games cost more than normal Japanese games, but they're usually worth it. I mean the limited editions with goodies, and Alicesoft is especially famous for this. Their boss Tada just really loved big heavy motherfucking full boxes.
I mean, it really brings me back to the days of PlayStation 2. Yeah, imagine you are taking Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, and even Rango vs. Zaft to your house. preparing to have a good night, and you open the fucking box, taking out the menu, seeing the cool fucking pages. Those pages bring you into the game before you turn on the consoles. I really miss that time, bro.
So how about we open it up? We got a calendar, a special fan bulletin, and manual, 2 discs, and a card. Sweet. Calendars. They always give you kind of warm, fuzzy feeling, like this Azumanga Daioh one. Nice.
Well, sorry for the booty herring. Let's play a game. Huh?
Fuck, the disk drive is stuck. I don't want to shape a toothpick once again, so I just use a thin metal stick and force it open. So at the end of the last game, Leah basically got completely conquered by Rance. She shows up at his house with her guards to propose to him. Then Rance grabs Seal and jumps out the window for escape. Then he takes a quest in the Free City Federation investigating the sunken city of Cathom. Still simple story, you fuck with 4 witches in Cathom, then beat the final boss, that's it. Sorry, I'm in rush. Escape button for skip, right? Why there's a menu? The movie is still playing. I know some games don't let you skip the first time intros, but the menu shows up means I still have to listen to the whole thing. That's bullshit. I would rather watch it normally. Anyway, thank you so much for thinking about people who are allergic to intro movies. Holy shit, why is it so loud? You're not wrong, that is Aufstanden aus Wien. But it's called My Glorious Days here. It plays almost every time Rance succeeds having sex. Love it, just want to know how Germans think about it. The gameplay is traditional, you talk to people, crawl in the dungeon, find the item and turn it in. The guidance is kinda weak though. You really should finish a chapter in one sitting, or you load your save file and find yourself forget where you are. But I'm not gonna angry here. Then the combat, here's a command called Trash Talk. Wait, does it mean we can attack like shouting suck my dick or go fuck yourself? Let's have a try. You were worse than garbage? Man, it's already 2026. Does that even count as an insult anymore? Oh, it worked. She killed herself. Lesson, kids, never go around trash talking people or they will commit suicide. Too bad, too bad. Why don't you scream and shout? Oh, the healing items. The shop has a bulk buy option, that's nice, but each of them only heals 10 HP, and you can only use one at a time. Maybe they're afraid you will choke to death or something. Imagine there's only basic purple potion in Pokemon Emerald. Man, the final 4 will be much easier. The story is pretty simple. If you check the cover, you'll probably already guessed. They're all cute, it's a god game. They may not really the villains. Case closed. You are correct, they are controlled by magic rings, and how do you remove the rings?
6.
So you fucked Maria, Mew, Eleanor, and their leader Shizuka. Met this protagonist-looking adventurer named Bird. He lost an arm protecting Seal. Eleanor is the type of being so responsible, so after she comes back to her scenes, he blames herself so fucking much and want to kill herself for redemption. You know what Rance said? He said, if you commit suicide, I will rape your corpse. Wow, that would be helpful. So nice for you. Better broadcast to all the buddy who want to commit suicide. The ending is good old stuff. If you are not hardcore Rance fan, the main treasure here is the dialogue. A lot of people skip 02. Honestly, that's understandable. If I take off my fan goggles and stay objective, this game is like a perfectly average appetizer. The series will be just normal if it ends here. It's an adult game, so finding a full uncensored playthrough on the web is actually hard, which means if you really want the full experience, you're probably gonna have to play it yourself. The fall of Lysa's opened with a nighttime decapitation operation. The massive Northern Empire Hellman, full of the Lysa's empire, teleports a strike force straight into the capital of Lysa's and captures Queen Leah and the Shadow Chancellor Marius easily. Did they got executed? Of course not. They are tortured in the basement by some rebel nobility. That is some kind of redemption. You don't play as Rance in the beginning, but Kaname, the royal ninja from the first game. Her mission is to retrieve the sacred treasures of Lisa's that were handed to Rance at the end of the 02, the Holy Blade, Holy Armor. Because among the invading forces are Majin in Japanese, but in English you will also see them called as fiends or dark lords. Like this guy, Either, who in the outfit of Dracula cosplay outfit. Humans can't hurt them at all, you can only seal them. Eventually, Kaname escaped and reached Rance's house. Hell, it's about time. There's a pattern in Rance series. Every 3 mainline games throw a party. This is the first time. Everything built up in the first 2 games finally meet their time. Lots of old friends come back onto the stage. 3 nations and regions get woven together and we're properly introduced to the Majin. Point is, 03 massively expands the world building. You still play as Rance, leading the army and liberating Lisa's. This rarity creates value, and this game proves it. It's the only Rance game in the entire series with voice acting. Most of the voices fit their Sorry, I forgot to mute. Most of the voices fit their characters surprisingly well, which is not easy at all. The series has been around for a long time. Everyone already has a correct voice in their head, and you can't please everyone. But I have literally never seen anyone complain about Kaname's voice. See? She gave me quite a show. Perfect performance.
But you know what grinds my gear? Rance only talks in battle.
That's it. He has like 10 lines total. Midway through the game, our army gets a tank. There's one of my favorite scenes. I want to hear Rance laughing out loud. The random soldiers scream plenty though. If even the nameless grunts gets voice acting, why can't Rance see a few more lines? Oh, I know. There's a reason. Games that chase immersion often try to downplay the protagonist, like hiding their face or not giving them a voice. That works in ultimate games like Mine and Leave, but does that work for Rance? No, he's the face of the franchise. He ranks number 1 in popularity every single time, so why the fuck he's not talking here? Just because Speedwagon is too expensive? What were they thinking? A lot of the enemies you face here only feel truly terrifying when you look back at later stories or compare them to the others. From Rance's perspective, it's just newborn car fears no tiger. It's like getting into a street fight with some random guy, barely winning after exhausting yourself, and 3 years later you find out that guy was Mike Tyson. Stuff like this is everywhere. During the Liberation campaign, you meet tons of incredible Lisa's generals and elite guards like Rick and Barry's. And it really makes you wonder, when the hell are you guys when Princess Leia was fucked by Rance? Aside from Rance's voice, I have almost no complaints about 03. It flows from start to finish, sweet and smooth. But I generally don't understand why they put random enemy encounters on the world map. I finished my job with low HP. I just want to go home and jerk off, but I can't tell how many times I got killed by trash monsters.
Fuck.
You might say the game literally warns you at the start. You read advice scribbled on the wall by a dead adventurer. She says, don't shoot the necromorph in the head, take their arms off and shoot it back to receive your ammo. Sorry, wrong line. He says don't be stingy with healing items. The level god tells you that leveling up fully restores your HP as well. Put that into your strategy. Sure. That works sometimes, but there's a hard mid-game boss fight where you get thrown straight into the combat with no chance to rearrange your party. No matter how well you prepared at home, you will lose HP or burn special moves on the way there. So you begin to fight with a non-perfect setup. What were they thinking? The overall direction is still very classic hero story stuff. Hellman's troop gets driven back, the Majin are dealt with, a bigger conspiracy is stopped, and Rance obtains a demon sword Chaos, which can break invincible barriers. The epilogue hits me, but the journey itself is genuinely exciting and absolutely worth playing. Now you might be curious, why didn't we start from the 1989 original? Because Tada said no.
Alicesoft has Alice. Almost every game got an Alice's mansion where you can talk to Alice the mascot, later Big Boss, and receive messages from the developers. Pretty fun. It's like chatting with the chef after a feast. This time, Ted says he hopes player to forget the original one. He did. But honestly, that's just an excuse. The real reason is that the 90s era's Alicesoft is another massive topic. The original one differed quite a bit from the remakes, but they are still extremely interesting. Maybe someday we'll do a review about it, I don't know.
But if you're actually interested in the older titles, then welcome to Rance 4, because it was never remade and we cannot skip it. As far as I know, billions of new ass cleared 03 and then saw 4 and just swallowed a gun and shot themselves to death. Yeah, I'm serious. This is the PC 98 version of 4. Since the computer from Minor Levy episode just retired, I can't even tell what's in those 11 floppy disks. Right around then, I suddenly remembered that a long time ago I bought a well-maintained 98 Note from the great Master Leon. I remember back then I was really interested in the old Toho games. It can still boot now. And the floppy disk drives was fine too. Sweet. I really like those computer programs that boot from the floppy disk or CDs. During the long installation process with those floppy drive working sound, we can have a coffee talk. If you look across the history of video game and animation, you may find whenever visuals get upgraded, there's always a painful adjustment period. The graphics of Rance 4 really did evolve a lot compared to the old version of 3, but some parts are just weird. I couldn't quite describing this feeling until I saw the first CG. Right at the start of the game, Rance finishes boning Seal and then lies naked on the big fucking green grass field, enjoying the sunlight. Okay, that needs here on very clear so the whole picture just don't look natural. Or it's look like dog shit.
Fucking makes no sense. I mean, his dingling is still longer than one of his leg. Even take some special perspective into consideration.
I moved to the Windows version because the PC 98 version requires a dual floppy drives, which I don't have. The menu says RAM disk is a second option, but my Lavier is one of the earliest models that cut the feature. Master Leon laughed his pants off after hearing this. In the second CG, Leah Back to the Future, she downgraded into a baby. Would you think this was some kind of prequel if I unside the text? Why the story here is connected to the very first Dark Lord War. Very long time ago, humans were brutally tortured by the demon army, so human magicians created a lot of giant combat weapons called Warlord and War God. They held off the demon lords for a while. Now two teams of adventurers are both reaches the place. But Rance didn't come here by choice. At the end of the previous game, he got blown into the air and landed in the Toshin Toshi, 2,500 meters up in the sky, and the characters on the ground also gather here for their own reasons. That's the start of the game. As for the system, we can't expect too much from a very old tactical RPG, but this right-click menu seriously pissed me off. It doesn't stay in a fixed position. Every time you click your mouse, it refreshes at your mouse position. If you try to pick some options upside, the menu just moves upper, so you have to keep your eyes wide open to make sure what you're actually kicking. Screw it. I would rather use the keyboard. Rance 4.1 and 4.2 are lighter adventure, but since Seal almost died again at the end of 4, Rance gave her a command to stay at home. According to the tradition of the Rance series so far, Rance has to have a female assistant by his side, so this time he goes together with the dumb artificial life form Athena 2 that he got in 4. Those 3 games introduced quite a few important characters, but they are really not suitable for a retrospective. Yeah, you feel the extraordinary atmosphere? In 1996, Alicesoft was so rich and fucking ambitious. The producer and the team leader Tada wants to put all the settings and ideas into one single game. So this is what they got, Kichikuo Rance, which means Brutal King Rance in English.
Look at our sweetie on the throne. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, It makes me curious about how the menu looks like.
I guess it could be like Half-Life 1, yeah. Imagine the petroglyph flavor texture and pure gold ruthless feeling. Best explanation of the title Brutal King. I can't wait.
How do you like that? It sounds really fucking safe. Parents will never know what's in there outside the door, right? Are you reading, son? Cartoon? Nice!
The same thing happens later in Daiakuji, a game about Yakuza, drugs, war, and dirty work. Look at this, now we're talking, yeah. What, a tutorial? It makes me remind some of the classic Flash game. They always put the instruction on the main menu. Let's check it out. Do you play music when you fuck your wife? I can only come out of some, saxophone. Here they do this under this kind of elevator music, which makes me feel like the title screen of the plumbers don't wear ties. Characters are so cute, then the sex scenes must be even cuter, right? Let's step in and take a look.
Oh god! Oh my god! Oh my god! You can't hurt anyone anymore.
Poor Stewie. I was shocked worse than him when I watched porn at the first time.
Fuck! I don't see this come. Jesus Christ!
Battles are between those chibi little guys. I don't know, can this thing really hurt? Oh my fucking god, he really killed him. And put him in the grave immediately. Clean and efficient, no hair left. Do we have to go this hard? Even in Kantai Collection, there's a last word when the ship is destroyed. This is Alisoft. They have the purest mascot. This soft, cute little kid greets you at the cinema ticket gate wishing you have a good time, but what's playing on the screen is The Shining. Luckily, I'm enjoying it. Back to the game. After all, Daiakuji is a game from the new millennium, so what about Kichiku or Rance? At the start of the story, Rance brings Seal and runs off to Hellman to become bandits. They raid nearby cities while Seal don't want to. No matter how you raid cities, the game won't progress until you rape the first kidnapped girl, and only then will the government army start acting. After that, Rance's base is wiped out. They beat the shit out of him and then he passes out in the wild, then gets carried back to Lisa's by Kanami. To command the army to rescue Seal and also make Hellman eat his dick, Rance has to marry Leah and become the king of Lisa's. That's just the beginning. Now the geography of the entire continent of Rothrun is not just a decoration anymore. Every place name that appeared in the story before has become a location you can conquer. Maris becomes your most reliable secretary. She introduced you to the world situation and you realize this world isn't just messed up. It's completely fucking bear shit. Between you and Hellman to the west is a massive mountain range. Their chancellor drugs puppet idols across the country and regularly sex abuses her. To the south is the Free Cities Alliance, which is basically free territory for you. East of the Free Cities is Japan. At this time, Nobunaga is drinking from skulls. To the west is the Empire of Magic, Zeth. The King of Zeth is hanging out to be Batman, and there is hardly no more people in the center of the country. You'll feel an urge to immediately send troops to liberate those savage. Lisa's is practically the best country comparing to those shitholes. Further west is the Demon Realm, which is also constantly at war. The opening movie says the previous Demon King Gai separated the human world and the monster world, which allowed humans to develop into what it is today. But the Demon King for now is a middle school girl dragged from modern Japan. She doesn't want to be the Demon King, so the Demon Realm is now in civil war. To the south is the pure blood Princess Hornet's army, who just killed 2 powerful Dark Lords under her command back in 03, so now she can't beat the northern leader, the Squirrel-Head Cabrith. In the Alice Mansion in the main menu, Alice tells you that if you take too long to unify humanity, very bad things will happen. You can probably guess. The Southern Demon faction that could potentially be negotiated with will lose, which will be so bad for human race or even worse. So now, Rance as a king, his mission is very clear. Unify humanity first, then unify the demon realm. What a time attack. Hearing all these settings brain fuck, I know. Even so, I've already explained it as simply as possible. So why the fuck is this world so shitty? Because of a way... Well, that question is concretely presented at the end of the true ending. So the story is actually very complete. Well, this is a rough shift of style, like watching Mobile Suit Gundam 0079 and then suddenly jumping to 08th MS Team, or playing 2 Dark Souls games and suddenly jumping to Bloodborne. Many people aren't used to the whatever atmosphere suddenly disappearing, and many others love it very much because of that. Compared to previous games, it's much more realistic. Relationships between characters become more complex but also more direct. For example, Leah's jealousy towards Seal becomes much more dangerous. In this game, after becoming king, Rance becomes far more domineering. At one point I feel like, who is this guy? You are not alone. Seal feels the same way. In previous stories, there are always one red line. Seal cannot die, because she is a part of Rance. But in this game, if you accidentally let Seal die, no matter the reason, the game will still continue. But it will determine the direction of the story at certain key points. If you rescue Seal too late and she dies, you will see one of the most intense emotional outbursts in the series so far. Rance drags the officer Ruberan out and beat the shit out of her with bare hands. But most players will treat saving Seal as a top priority, so just knowing this plot point is enough. Although this game is very serious, there are still many jokes and black humor. For example, during gameplay you can send out several ninja girls. The work they can do is gathering intelligence from enemy cities, carrying out sabotage, or occasionally supporting you in battle. You might think this is a basic system you can use anytime, but what is the point if only Katniss is sent out in a high chance she gets captured and executed? Just provoking Katniss is a dumbass? What were they thinking? Reaching a good ending isn't easy. In this sense, military operations and chasing girls are the same. You need to make enough correct choices within limited time. For some old school God games, their difficulty mostly lies in needing you to think from inside the situation. Among options that looks completely ordinary, you have to find the one that might actually affect the story. Carefully read the girl's thoughts based on existing experience and information, and after making certain choices, think about where she might go next. Maybe even doubling back, and so on, blah blah. Fuck. I thought finding the true ending of Persona 4 was already at the level of brain fuck. If you still don't get it, I can tell you that the hardest to crack examinations in the first 3 Ace Attorney games are like fresh meat compared to those. Except that underarm sweat quiz. On the positive side, this shows extremely meticulous design. On the negative side, it can also be seen as a classic lack of guidance in vintage games. If it is your first time playing, you'll most likely get stuck because if you miss some hints, the game won't tell you again. And there's no backlog to check. So what do? We got guidebooks. Look at the back side of this book, it really tried to piss me off. Those questions are just as annoying as the tornado puzzle in Simon's Quest for new players. And even if you get a book, you might still not be convinced. For example, when attacking Zeth, they suddenly pull out weapons of mass destruction and wipe out your army, then set up a barrier so you can't approach the 4 towers around the capital. There are several ways. For example, meet their Batman King. The method is to grain 3 cities in order to trigger events. How the hell would anyone figure that out? Even the prophecy maze only tells you the location of the first event. What about the rest? As for the nuclear trigger conditions, you might think you can find through save and load, but the save system is a bad shit. You can't save mid-turn. No matter when you save, when you load, you go back to the start of the turn, which means you have to rewatch all trigger events and battles again. Some events are really long, you have to skip for quite a while. But this is an old game from 1996, and maybe it's a limitation of the System 3.5 engine, I don't know. But in two later games, they perfected the same system like this one. You not only have 999 save slots, you can even label them. The battle system isn't very complicated. Each turn you can conquer one city, go adventuring far away, supply one unit, and perform one internal policy action. As for in battle, 2 units in the front, 2 in the back. If the commander in the very back dies, it's total defeat. It lasts worse. Different cities have different battle range, so some places are extremely hard to break through. Outside of war, you also have to take care of your harem, or sometimes very tragic things could happen. Many important story events for female characters are placed in the harem segment, which means some matters might be mentioned in bed. What did a bed do to deserve witnessing so many stories? Are those 4 fried eggs next to the bed? The original 1, 2, 3, and 4 were all RPGs. Suddenly jumping to this level of gaming is just exciting, like UC Gundam fans discovering on day 1 that something like Giran's Greed exists, a game made just for them. I mean, you can really have each character lead their own army and watch huge amounts of character events. This is reflected in the OP. They really want to emphasize how many characters there are in this game and how complicated the relationships are. Even though formally it's just cards talking to each other, all the story content is extremely good. Now let's leave this brutal world and go back to the cute world to catch our breath. I just opened the VHS tape of Milumu Daepong, and now I want to finish watching it.
It's always a good thing to watch a classic anime from the beginning. It looks so peaceful. What?
Sorry Minami, I guess I have to be a traitor. Kichikuo Rance is a Gaiden, a spin-off, a what if. After that, Alisoft want to have another game on the main line, so they got 5D because 5A, 5B, and 5C failed. Since this is a 4400 yen game, it have a smaller box, you can handle it with single hand.
Such a poor box. Let's see what's inside. Comment dire-tu?
There are some informations on the disc. You need to turn the disc and read it.
Sweet, my life is getting better.
The lead artist switched to Orion from here. The cover looks super cute, right? But the box literally says the game contains no justice whatsoever, so you'd better become a moral vacuum here. After all, we're back to an era when this Aero game maker was basically at its peak, like asking a 19-year-old guy something like, do you have some deep dark fantasies? And the answer might make you shit your pants. After Kichikuo Rance, every game became completely different, like Postal. This time, the entire game takes place on what looks like a table cover with a tablecloth, and it even has some staging. Pretty fun. The combat is handled by rolling dice. The only thing you can do is assign skills to each dice result and equip beetles on the characters that affect those results before the fight. Once the battle starts, you can just sit there and watch. So, how about sit down and enjoy this kick-ass turn speed? The story goes right after 4.2. Rance, Seal, and Athena 2 get lost and wander into a Japanese-style castle. So this game goes fusion way. Just listen to this rap suddenly switching into shakuhachi. See? The new characters are mainly... 我靠，英语里没有妖怪这个词儿。I mean, besides a few yokai beings and special enemies, they are mostly just the lonely girl on the cover, Rizna, and Bird plus his new girlfriend, Kopandon. Oh sorry, I'm turning the music off now. Rance is wearing a Shinsengumi uniform, while Seal is in a Mimawari Gumi uniform. Wow, that heart looks beautiful. What is it? Oh, it's Rance's libido. Can I throw it in the trash can? That would probably prevent a lot of tragedies. I can? Sad. I wish if I can throw away my conscience for a while too. I really had fun since my conscience is gone. This time Rance becomes such a jerk, but I just laugh along with him. This time it really feels like they decided to push parody to the absolute limit. I love investigating everywhere because you never know when some ridiculous or hilarious dialogue is going to pop out. If the destination you move toward is random, you have to spend time pulling balls from this slot machine, and if it's a black ball, you throw the items and watch these little things during the comedy routine, which is really fun. It actually gave me that rare relaxed gaming feeling. What if I throw an important item in? Oh, it says, I'm afraid you can't clear the game. Oh, wow. Thank you and your 18th ancestors so much for telling me something that important. Time to load. As you can see, the dark humor here goes even further. While reading the dialogue, I keep thinking about how the fuck could the characters with faces this cute talk this bad. I constantly feel like there were basically no normal, reasonable people in this continent, and even if there were, they'd probably have a bad end. Close relationships between characters seems impossible. Everything feels unreliable. Allies and teammates are constantly screwing each other over like Gintama, except without the emotional core, just pure calculation. But once the story progresses far enough, suddenly this flimsy paper scaffolding can actually support some emotional weight. I'm not trying to map the game directly onto real life since writers can do whatever they want with the plot. But just like Minor League, it still made me think a little bit about relationships. The game reaches a happy end after a few hours. It's not huge in scale, but in my opinion, 5D is the most Rance-style Rance game ever. Totally chaos from start to finish. You know what? Just let it mess around for now, because the bigger story is about to begin. Even though Kichikuo Rance set the overall framework, its true ending left zero room to continue the story. Rance solved the ultimate problem way too quick, so there was nowhere left to go. But what do you do with such a fun framework to avoid wasting it? That's it, a new transition. Kind of like the new Evangelion. So death becomes the first stage of the new story. I won't spend too much time talking about it. It's simple. If I retell the story, it will be too long. If I talk about systems, there's honestly not that much to say. The Collapse of Death is a 3D dungeon crawling RPG, and if you really get into it, it's pretty fun. Except for one map, the Zeth capital. Yeah. At first you might think, it's fine, but once you use the elevator, you are completely lost. This isn't about having a good sense of direction or being good at reading maps, you just get lost. You might think the guidebook will help, but not this time. The maps in the guide are actually less useful than ones in the game. By the time you figure out what the guide is saying, you probably already completed it by accident. The game is very long, it has so much thing to collect, like character story events, even the Pokemon part sponsored by the Diocracy next door. There's way too much content to collect quickly, so you're better off playing it gradually. As for the story, Rance and Seal clash with the financial officer during a mission handoff. Because this is death, magic means everything. You will probably be a slave if you don't know magic. So Rance gets regarded as Seal's slave and thrown into a slave camp, but it quickly escapes and joins the resistant Ice Flame. This game becomes the second part of the main series. It sets up future storylines and also fills in past lore, like how Rance and Seal first met and details about previous Demon Kings. This time, Rance gets a magazine featuring the top 10 beauties, including members of the ruling class, with wild comments on it. Seriously, who the fuck is this magazine publisher? Jesus? All girls in the magazine become his target. He waits for a chance and even cooperates with a terrorist group to tear down the Monster Realm defense line, letting the Dark Lord Camillus' army invade and throw the country into chaos. But ironically, a shitty country like Zeth do need something drastic to change. So Rance and his old friends end up reuniting to push the Dark Lord forces back. Rance is still Rance. Midway through the game, he gets captured by Camilla, but she's more interested in having fun, so he forces him to make her laugh or be killed. Okay, there are 4 options. A. Says fuck you. B. Show dick. C. Kiss her. D. Waits for revenge and then rape her in the magic jail. So what do you think? The answer is B, C, A, B, D, D, D. Wow, good thing we're playing as him. The result feels satisfying, but getting there is actually pretty rough. But rape comedy alone isn't enough. The game is extremely serious about telling a good story, just like how a great movie needs a great director and writer. This game brought in scenario writer Loka Lika, which made the story feel much richer and vintage. That's absolutely essential as an RPG. You don't want to get bored halfway though, right? By the way, my favorite part is about the leader of Ice Flame, Urza. But my word is pale, you'd better read it yourself. Get really tired after so many rants. Let's take a break and play the Sengoku game. That tense feeling of preparing for battle at dawn. We're seeing the Oda clan quelling an internal rebellion right now. Seeing such a nice big brother version of Nobunaga is so sweet. Everyone else pretty much matches their stereotypes. Kazuya still looks like a pure brute, except Mori Ranmaru, who's turned into a cool girl. I'm just kidding, it's still Rance. Back in 2006, Alisoft was in so good shape. Like some tough guy who just walked out and saw the spittoon and wanted to beat someone up. So they poured a ton of effort into making a game that would probably leave its game in the history of video game. So this is it, Sengoku Rance. The title is so fucking famous because the game itself is extraordinary. In our country, a lot of casual players even think this is the name of the entire series. You know, there's always a perfect entry to get into a series.
For example, if you want to know where to start Yakuza series or like a Dragon, someone would say 0 or 7. But as for Rance, for me, it's Sengoku Rance of course. 2 years ago, I bought Sengoku Rance and it starts from here.
Look at this title. Rance 7 is under the shadow of Sengoku Tennis. Old joke. Sengoku Rance. But honestly, I think it should be the other way around. Rance completely overwhelms the Sengoku setting. That flavorful world established in the opening movie starts revolving around him once he arrives. And if you've played all the way along, you don't even feel like something is wrong. By the way, why do I keep mentioning the opening movie? The reason is not Big Bang Age in the Neighborhood has a full animated opening. And I mean jealousy. No. The Sengoku background is absolutely familiar territory for Japanese creators, which such a solid state to work from is actually hard to write a boring story. I really want to see Takeshi Kitano direct the Sengoku Rance, you know. So after the great battle in the previous game, Rance and Seal draw a lottery prize, a hot spring trip, so they come to Japan. Japan is still in the Sengoku era at this point. Wild. But the Nobunaga here is the boy next door, and he becomes close friends with Rance. That's new to me. Rance barely has any male friends. Nobunaga's body is very weak, so he hands control of the Oda clan over to Rance, and then Rance begins unifying the country. Most of the time in the game, you are dealing with the map. The map screen is peaceful. To be honest, I really love sitting here drinking tea for half an hour. But you will finish your tea time then attack. Hell yeah. SLGs are the kind of games that look fun just by watching them. Alisoft categorized Sengoku Rance as a conquered SLG. Actually, Kichikuo Rance is also the type of the game. My first exposure to this conquest SLG genre was watching my uncle play Heroes of the Three Kingdoms 5. At noon, I saw him on the management screen, and then after my nap, he was still on the same management screen. I can't handle game too complex, so I thought SLG probably wasn't for me. What a pity. Then I grew up. In a LAN party of New Year, me and my guys sat down to play games after dinner. We were all drunk, so I fell asleep face down on the keyboard while playing Toho Imperishable Night. Meanwhile, they powered through an entire night of Hearts of Iron 4 while drunk, and were still playing in the morning. I really wanted to experience that kind of addictive thrill, so they said, why don't you have a try? When I sat down at the laptop, I realized my intuition was right. I played a tutorial, but since I basically have no idea of history, I don't know what era it is or what I was supposed to do. The system was so fucking complex, I was getting mad just like Adolf Hitler in the film Downfall. Why won't these people carry out my orders? Are all military commanders supposed to be superhuman? But for Sengoku Rance, I enjoyed it very much. It turns out a system that good at subtraction doesn't necessarily sacrifice depth. After all, you should know that someone out there understood the mechanics so deeply that they wrote a guide for clearing the game with just one soldier with each commander. Respect. The entire game takes place across roughly 20 blocks. What you should care about is national power, money, troops, and items. Distant clans rarely concern you, you only need to worry about the clans next door. The visual quality is also a huge step up from the previous entry. The UI has an old-fashioned aesthetic with a highly unified style. Very comfortable. If you ever seen Orion scribbles, you will know he really likes drawing non-human creatures. When he draws yokai, it feels like he's in a much better state than when drawing humans. It looks like he had a blast drawing all kinds of yokai for this game. There are some really cool designs here, like your secretary, the Old Man 3G. He's a telephone yokai, so there are buttons on his sleeves and antennas on his head. These creepy bloodstains really make you scratch your head, but they are also just fascinating. The setting is very well integrated into the gameplay. For example, only one of the two heroes is present. Can you deal damage to Majin? Likewise, your Majin won't die either. This trick can be used for defending. Fuck 300 people? In fact, this is one of the mechanics. When delivering the final blow to a clan, it better bring Rance along. He will do the victor's rise after his triumph. After that, you will see over 20 new entries added to the sex notebook. There's a key state in the game called satisfaction. Every time Rance has a satisfying round of sex, it increases 5 points. For every 10 points accumulated, you can trigger a powerful effect called Great Satisfaction. You choose one bonus from a whole list. The first time I saw so many options, I hesitated for a while.
2,000 years later.
I still think skill is the most important thing, but guess who shows up? Itagaki Taisuke and Ito Hirogumi. What do these two even have to do with the Sengoku area? That's bullshit. Why don't you just make a phone call to Sai? Actually, the best option here is probably summon forces from foreign nations. You can call in powerful characters from previous games, like the true heroine of the last game, Urza. She changed her outfit and looks much better now. You constantly need to watch your national power because otherwise the reinforcements you call won't arrive, and they won't even tell you why. Can you imagine reinforcements standing at your gate the whole time because your country is too busy fighting wars? I mean, once space finally opens up, they still have to pretend they just arrived? One day, Rance encounters assassination in his tent, so he has to personally go out and deal with it. This is the RPG portion of the game, personal combat. The endpoint of this system is a series of boss fights, including the final boss. It's a separated system, so you need to pay attention to both. This is Uesaki Kenshin, a gift of the game. She supports whoever being invaded. What are you doing down there? Can you please don't fuck with me? It's just the start of the game. How am I supposed to fight such a powerful commander? Whether she attack me or I attack her, I die. Fuck. My entire team pieces themselves and can't move seeing her. You call this a gift? I mean, fine, she didn't know you yet. If you want it, then you have to take it. By the way, sometimes she appears in the back row, and then you absolutely must not kill the front line unit, or she'll come out and beat the shit out of you. The complexity of the battle system is just right. If it were only about wiping out all the enemies, it'd be too boring. So there's a resource bar on the top, and a time limit at the bottom. Those 6 slots allow for several formations. You can choose to spend some action to scout the enemy. Sometimes when you don't have enough commander available, you have to gamble. Usually you drag the back row units to the front and screw them there. Generic formations sometimes don't work. Encountering cavalry can get you shredded. You absolutely don't want to fuck with Takeda. If your commander are disabled, then at the end of the battle you have to pray they didn't truly die. All clans on the map are acting every turn, so there are situations where after you defeat one clan, another gets swallowed by a third clan on the other side. This creates story branches you can't cover all at once. After clearing the game once, this list appears in the menu, making it easy to see things unfinished. Many people are still finding new events even after 10 playthroughs. You can really tell how much effort went into multiple runs. The manual provides the content of Luther version of Japanese history. Before Rance was born, Japan had already been fighting Majin for hundreds of years. The Majin Xavier was sealed and split into 8 pieces, represented in-game by 8 gourds. The more gourds you break, the stronger the Majin usurp Nobunaga's body, and the closer you get to the ending. When 4 gourds are broken, you must face Majin Nobunaga. After killing him, the game enters a short period of peace.
Well, I guess I have nothing to do right now because I'm fucking invincible. Look at those clans. I can eat them one by one while playing Pokemon. Oh, I'm so tired. Better take a nap from now. Sure do, turn hands. Wait, what?
Yes, you have to fight the brutal demon army in the rest of the game. The difficulty spikes sharply, and you have to take it seriously. Actually, there are 3 protagonists in this era. The first is Rance, of course. The second is Kentaro, back in Kichikuo, or Little Princess. His pink-haired girlfriend Miki is the demon king for now, you know that. And this couple have a lot of story here. The third is the hero Elios, who barely appears here at all. Originally, most of Rance's active role should have been his, but since Rance is the primary protagonist, Elios always misses his chance to shine. It's almost feel intentional. He did have some few story in Kichikuo Rance though. This game mainly focuses on the intersection of Rance and Kentaro's stories. This series never lacked brutal plots since 5D, but what Rance did is the mildest here. From the older clan's perspective, he is almost an entirely positive commander. In this game, he shows nearly all of his good qualities into precise code. Here I want to address a question left from earlier. For me, the best thing about adult games is that they respect me as an adult. The development team goes all out with no reservation and has absolutely no intention for coddling me. What Xavier do is far too cruel. There's one scene that caused so much emotional damage that I slammed the table. But you need to grit your teeth and face it, that's one aspect of adult games. Watching Rance having sex is sweet, but there is a cost. This game is so arcade. There's a score displayed in the center of the screen. Each turn deducts 1 point, and completing certain optional objectives adds points. These points can be used to unlock hidden elements in later playthroughs. You know, the joy of planning actions and successfully carrying them out is on fire. The SLG game design of second half is always a challenge. If the end game drags on too long, it's easy to get bored. No matter how exciting battles are, you may get tired of them. So in the mid game, the game gives you a set of combat licenses to speed up the pace of conquest. Battles increase the popularity of Rance, not just female, but male too. In such a martial land, a leader with thunderous methods like this is someone you'd like as well. This game also has a guidebook, but you have to squint when reading it because so many puzzle answers are written together. Rewards like CGs are also placed on the same pages. I got spoiled on half the content immediately, so this book is best used when you're going for completion. There's also a really interesting research section at the end, and it even comes with a bonus disc. The difficulty of the first playthrough is default, and it gives you some beginner protections. For example, after the demon army takes the action, after a while, they'll return the territories to you. Starting from the new Game Plus, you can start aiming for high scores. This system is very well developed, so you can impose all kinds of self-restrictions for challenge runs. As for New Game Plus, you can choose to enter the heroine if route midway through the game. You know, if rules has always felt like dream endings, no matter how good things are in them, as long as there's a sequel, they'll be discarded, because they are if. The whole Kichikuo Rance game is a what if, but here, Alicesoft changed their strategy. They folded almost all the good outcomes from the if rules into the official history, and discarded nearly all the bad ones. Where there were conflicts, they chose the most satisfying option. Can this still be called if route? Well, I buy it. If there's anything truly shitty about this game, that will be never play it when you actually have a schedule in real world. It's the most famous time thief in all of Japan, just like Overwatch in 2016. To the west of the human world, there is a forest where a race called Color lives. They're all cute girls. This is something we already know back in Kichikuo Rance. After dealing with Dark Lord Xavier from Japan, Rance goes to the Color Forest to talk about business. But once he arrives, the business turns into raping the sleeping Color Queen Pastel. As a result, he gets soft, and this is a apparent problem Rance is facing. The Color Queen Pastel gives birth to the child. Since Color growing very quick, she wants the child to personally assassinate Rance and complete her revenge. And here comes the cutest being in the whole series, Reset Color. He's so pure and adorable for this continent. This is Rance 8, or Rance Quest. Look at the menu and you will know that's a Dragon Quest reference. The music shifts into a retro style like chiptune and many old characters return. It looks pretty relaxed, right? The games use a quest-based system. You can play one quest at a time. Each quest isn't very long, but you still need to plan carefully. A lot of people hate this because all of your skills have usage limits, and battles also have time limits. But this is completely different from Sengoku Rance. It's like having diarrhea every 2 minutes, but now you have to go on a long trip. You'd better remember exactly where all the toilets are along the way. Many times you just need one more hit, but no, you can't do it. You have to plan everything properly. In the middle of the game, the lovers of Rance gradually comes together. They pool their money to buy Rance a castle, and from then on, this becomes a new mother base. I really love this quest called A Day in Cidade. Basically, once the game reaches a certain point, each character gets a mini side story. I really love those mini stories, it never gets old. After switching maps twice in a dungeon, there's also some new mini conversations. The game introduces a detail I absolutely adore. Compared to expensive tea, Rance prefers tea cheaper. I don't know why this detail hits me so hard, but I feel like it does more than a lot of major plus points. And he loves collecting shells. In this world, shells are basically fossils. Aside from sex and adventure, Rance's biggest hobby is collecting shells. This means that this punk who barely went to school is actually a hardcore enthusiast of lithology. This kind of thinking is everywhere in literature, but every time I see it in video games, I still want to say sic parvis magna.
Can we give a simple definition about what kind of people Rance is? Can we? I don't know.
In my opinion, no, at least for now. Do you feel a little strange from here? Why is Seal not here? Oh, she's definitely not dead, and she is not just staying at home either. This is also not Kichikuo Rance, so it must be some kind of accident makes her absent. Then why does Rance look just fine? What is he really thinking? There's a plot in the game that measures soul contamination of team members. Rance's contamination level isn't low, which means he's carrying something heavy in his heart, but can you actually tell? By now, we all know this series spans a very long period of time. Even though someone like Tada is overseeing things, as times change, the development staff comes and goes, Rance's image is bound to change as well. This isn't exactly the same as growth or character arc. Across the newer 5 entries, his image is like Tom under Fred Quimby's direction between 1937 and 1955. There are differences, even in the same director, but you never feel like he's someone else. Okay, here's a little story. When I was very young, kids loved playing the King of Fighters, but we skipped all the stories in-game. The huge influence of Hong Kong comics and the lack of developed internet, there was tons of rumors among kids. I still remember how scared I felt at the first time I booted up COP 2000. because K-Dash looked like a little punk, and back then I was terrified of punks. By the way, do you know how I watched that insanely cool intro movie back then?
Yeah, I guess he can't get along with his teammates and his enemy clans. Enemy teams, so many enemies. What? How can he fuck with the special forces? That must be the reason he never looked somebody in the face. He even beat girl to death and put him in the fridge? What an asshole. Where did you learn to make friends?
But now K-Dash is my favorite character. That's because after watching an animation made by Tanzong 830, I realized K-Dash isn't the kind of person I imagined at all. He's lazy, and he really loves beef jerky. Holy shit, how can he like beef jerky? Seriously? I close my eyes and imagine him eating beef jerky. No way. Later on, I gradually realized that many co-op characters are truly well made. When controlling them in the game and fight with each other is just an aspect. Still, K-Dash is my favorite. Back then, players start getting hyped, but the game came to an end all of a sudden. After all, the Kala Forest case could easily become long and unpleasant if mishandled. A new conflict was badly needed here. Luckily, today we don't have that problem because later they released a massive expansion called Magnum. It's as important as Brood War or Yuri's Revenge. Not only did it improve the systems, it also added a ton of crucial story content. The versions we bought later all came with Magnum installed. There's a line in Sengoku Rance that says the Tenshinzum is to Japan what the Alice Church is to the continent. The Magnum expansion focuses on the Alice Church storyline. It spends a huge amount of effort building up this character, Crook Morpheus, and elevates the game to a very high level. Rance Quest feels lighthearted like a picnic, but that's only on the surface. What they are about to face is deeply despair. That's very Alice soft, and it's also the greatest point of this story. Kichiku will bring up the ultimate problem too early, so the whale was pushed much further back, and they put this most loyal civil servant and chief secretary, the goddess Alice.
Quest clear, let's head to the next game. Yeah, the Heaven Revolution. You see the cover? Here comes another princess. Let's play it.
That smell. It's a smell of multiple of 3. Does this guy look familiar to you? Isn't that Mike Tyson? Toma. Just like I said back in 03, in the later entries we gradually realized what kind of person we actually defeated back then. Back in Rance 6 Alice Mansion, Ted mentioned that he had already planned things out all the way to Rance 10. That might be why they weren't in a hurry to fully flesh out certain characters. In Sengoku Rance, Kenshin falls in love with Rance. We may say that means her character arc is already complete. By contrast, everyone else's growth happens slowly over time. This intro is long, it's setting up the background. Back then, the simple and naive Prince Patton was manipulated by a Dark Lord and invaded Lisa's just to prove himself. The story that follows is what we saw in 03. Now, Patton is officially marked as 1 KIA, but his prestige remains. So, now he plans to take back everything he lost. After all, Hillman is the only nation Rance hasn't conquered yet. Structurally speaking, the story needs him to make this move. Rance does have his own reasons to go to Hillman, but Patton comes to invite him first. The website ad for this game back in the day was "There's no Dark Lord here," so this time the stage belongs entirely to humans. That makes the overall tone of the story much more relaxed. Hillman is a cold and barren place, so Rance puts on a mantle armor. This outfit completely changes the impression he gives off, like how once you swap the carbon hoods onto FD3S in Initial D, you instantly recognize it as a late model. Honestly, sometimes I really want to see him fight Saber. These are two male protagonists of this game. They are placed right there on the main menu, so grand and majestic. I am still playing a god game, right? Of course it is. The looseness of the main story leaves rooms for developing the heroines. As for the game progresses, you have to build relationship with 7 heroines. For example, before the showdown you will see this very famous CG. Even people don't know Rance knows this CG. There are 7 versions of it, each one with a different heroine standing beside Rance, but one of them looks like she was just photoshopped in. If you complete all 7 personal route endings, you can fully enjoy an emotional reunion in the final epilogue. Of course, these personal route endings use the same treatment of Eve endings as in Sengoku Rance. As for which one is canon, you will find out in 10. The art resources have become incredibly rich. You can even see this in the shop bonuses. It feels similar to Kichikuo. The art is so good that I find myself nodding repeatedly. Everyone loves beauty. It's like seeing a courtesan from Yoshiwara sitting on the windowsill of a skyscraper. Even a passing Kamen Rider or someone completely uninterested in red light districts would instinctively think, what a gorgeous, beautiful sight. But seriously, Adisoft, we need more tapestries. There are many regular army members in the protagonist team called Hellmania Revolutionary Army, but they can't reveal themselves, or it would cause political incidents between Lisas and Hellman. Seriously, what bother? With so many strong characters, I honestly don't know how they are supposed to lose. So they basically laughed their way through the revolution, with all the losses happening on Hellman's side. Along the story, they also ended the story of Rance Force Toshin Toshi. Actually, I don't buy it. I don't think the story need to be this relaxing. Fortunately, the personal routes have stronger presence. It feels like the game really wants you to relax and have a good time before the final entry release. Each heroine has a low presence bad end that you have to intentionally trigger in specific battles. They are very short. Looks like Adisoft chose not to show their strength here. As for the gameplay, it doesn't have so many tricks. Maybe they are not good at making tactical RPG. The first playthrough isn't very difficult either. Clearing the game normally comes with no pressure. All you need to do is find the right opportunity to place characters in the correct positions, fire off their ultimate skills, and enjoy the ace. There are massive numbers of enemies, and they come in wave after wave. That's the selling point. After all, the back of the box literally says enemy forces 10,000 times. But the problem is, once there are that many enemies, you have to sit there watching this huge crowd playing their animations one by one. Battles end up becoming too long. You can speed it up, but the option to skip animations is only for the New Game Plus. And since melee units can basically only swarm you from 4 directions, most of the time they're just preparing and shooting you or walking back and forth. It's honestly kind of torturous. Oh, fuck.
狮子呼你啊！ Oh yeah.
It even reminds me a minigame of Lucky Star, which is even slower than Desert Bus. The Rance series isn't new to tactical RPGs. Adisoft has made quite a few of them, but through this entire game, I feel like I was playing something else entirely. Kind of like how Americans felt the first time they played Super Mario Bros. 2, because you know that game was actually Doki Doki Panic. The final battle BGM is called Run Into the Street. At this point, I finally realized what the feeling was. The whole game feels very similar to 1999's Mama Toto. In Nico Nico, Rance 9 is also referred as Mama Toto 2 as a joke. So what about Rance 10? Hell, that's a priceless memory. The Rance series is extremely efficient at creating characters. After this many games, we're pushing close to 200 named characters. A ton of them have full portraits, and they are all done by Orion alone. One-man army. I swear he deserves some kind of lifetime achievement award. I mean it. So at the beginning of the story, Rance and his guys are searching for the 4 holy girls inside a super battleship in Northern Hellman. They actually first appeared in 4.2, but we skip it. Sorry. So they fight in the war room and lock themselves inside a hibernation chamber accidentally, and everyone else just stands there waiting for the door to unlock. Months later, the outside world finally reconnects with them, only to reveal that humanity has been surprise attacked by the demon army. The human world are collapsing. According to the framework laid down by Kichikuo Rance, we have finally reached full-scale war between humanity and the monster world. And right here, I strongly recommend you sit down and watch this promotion movie. See? There's barely any new assets in it, but the atmosphere is absolutely perfect. I wonder when the last time I heard music and instantly saw the corresponding characters in my mind. God, it has been... What's your favorite music? I like 80s disco. What's your favorite music? Could you please turn that off? Meanwhile, the camera finally focuses on the third protagonist, Alios, the official hero who's mostly existed in background up until now. He's been retired for a while, but now both the demons and the celestial beings want him back to the stage just to make the whole show more dramatic. So they torment him for both sides and he snaps. In this game, he pushes the story forward from a completely different direction. In this game, time is measured in turns. Each turn means half a month, and then it is divided into a preparation phase, an operation phase, and a base phase. At the end of each turn, war results are showed across all war zones. The more military gains you secure, the fewer casualties for your men. During preparation, you can reinforce regions that are on the edge of collapse, buying them time. During operation phase, you can move to neutralize a Dark Lord. Unlike Kichikuo Rance, the Southern Demon Army Hornets has already been defeated before the game. Your true enemy is the Northern Army leader Cablis. He doesn't appear on the front line, but he deployed 2 Dark Lords and 1 Great Demon General in each of the 4 major war zones. During the operation phase, you can launch major offensives to eliminate 1 or even 2 Dark Lords in a war zone. Killing 2 in same turn is called double kill. It's pretty difficult, but if you nailed it, certain characters who would have died in battle are saved and reappear later in the story. This is a story about war. If no one dies, it starts feeling like a joke, but seeing old characters die is really hurt. Thankfully, the game gives you a chance to save them, so you better try harder. Your actions affect the global human casualty rate, but that's not the only thing you are watching. If a nation's army is wiped out, it falls next turn. On the flip side, eliminate both Dark Lords in the war zone and the nation can be liberated. If you wipe out the occupying demon forces entirely, you later see an excellent battle sequence showing how that country reclaims itself. And if you are not into lone hero nonsense, this is for you. You get to watch all those well-developed characters and ordinary soldiers shine while Rance isn't around. God, it's like watching ground mobile suits in Gundam finally get their time in the spotlight. Honestly, sometimes the Gems looks cooler than the Gundams anyway. During the base phase, you finally get to catch your breath. You choose one reward event to watch, usually tied to new characters gained in combat. And I have to say, I absolutely adore these 3 variations of the same musical theme. Same roots, but totally different vibes. They also got some warm moments. During New Year's, Rance Castle celebrates. All the characters you've saved shows up. It's a reward of working hard. That's priceless. But sorry for breaking your tea time. Uh-oh. Did you forget about the third protagonist? He carries a very ironic sword. The higher the human casualty rate, the stronger it becomes. If things go badly enough, he can actually do something really bad to you. Still, sometimes I just sit here, enjoying that detached perspective, watching the chaos from the sidelines. Ah, chaos. Distortion. Haha. The demon army is so powerful. Most of the time, Rance has to resort to dirty tricks just to defeat a single Dark Lord. Meanwhile, the anti-demon squad rides Ox cars across the entire continent every half month. Seriously, will it last long? But as an old saying goes, persistence wins. If you just keep doing your job, eventually the tide turns, and once it does, the initiative is yours. So how's the gameplay? Back in 5D, we already knew Tada is a gastronome. He believes randomness in video game has its own charm. In this game, expanding your combat power is done through treasure chests. The card you pick determines which character joins your squad. After each battle, 5 parameters influence chest drops, so every fight requires at least minimal thought. If you're desperate to get strength, you need to remember who hasn't scored the first blood. And when necessary, do Annihilation Pursue attack to raise drop rates. Strangely, this hyper-detailed resource management in every single battle doesn't let me feel tired at all. Those roguelike players know what I'm talking about. Every 10 levels can produce a huge boost. 10 20-star cards are far stronger than 3 60-star cards. So pre-battle team assignment becomes fun. Some characters just show up to leech EXP they contribute later. Humanity is now temporarily united. Rance becomes the world president for now and fights in the front lines. In story, everyone who can fight matters. Almost every battle is large scale. Now you might ask, how does the game draw that? Since the game is so famous, before playing I saw some screenshots. 2 big fucking HP bars with absurd long numbers, an enemy portrait floating up and down, and some cards. I couldn't imagine. I'm convinced. How do you believe a war is happening on the screen? But once I played, I realized I underestimated it. You know, we humans possess the strongest weapon.
Imagination.
Yes, imagination. But what makes it activate willingly? I guess it will be emotion. And this game is a pro at manipulating emotion. Rance 10 is a powder keg filled with your anticipation and excitement. But feel isn't enough. You need ignition. You need hype. The subtitle is Showdown, and it absolutely excels at depicting showdowns. It doesn't literally show armies clashing. The games are limited. It convinces you the army are there fighting. Your brain does the rest. This is something really good about Japanese game. They are so good at building a feeling about the plot. They have 100 ways to make you hype. Even don't know what's happening now. Oh, you mean this? This is even more miraculous. Even Yakuza fans also want to know who he is. Eventually, I realized this was lore and system integration at work. The series has been building toward this for years, so the payoff is astonishing. Every character belongs to its own faction. Each faction can field 1 leader card. That faction's combat power is determined by all cards in the back plus the leader states. It's the final showdown, so everyone contributes. Usually, Rance himself isn't the strongest unit, because the protagonist faction is so small. But Dark Lords have invincible barriers, so at least one of the 2 protagonists must strike first using the Demon Sword Chaos or the Holy Blade Sunlight. We have already tasted Dark Wizardry, Dark Tycho, Dark Dragon Quest, Dark Fire Emblem, so what this time? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Actually, I was thinking about the original Mega Man. Just kidding. Modern games are hybrids. A single idea is just an idea. It's better to label them than categorize them. Being a God game doesn't conflict with being a RPG or SLG. They operate on different layers. Its Mega Man side shows in stage order. Each region rewards expected cards and favorable attributes. With the right team and certain areas become much easier. Enemy distribution is fixed so you can optimize routes. Some blocks increase difficulty. You can intentionally challenge them for sure, but the game will warn you not to be stupid. And the save system is the best in the series. It's almost impossible to reach a deadlock. Now you're ready for the battle, but don't be a brute. First-time players struggle to find the optimal strategy. When the manual explicitly warns you that the game is difficult, you should take the hint. Many tough battles rely heavily on status effects like poison. Once you obtain powerful cards, you can cheat certain battles, but even knowing difficulty lowering tricks doesn't make it boring. Pretty similar to Sengoku Rance. There are bizarre moments though. You are transported to modern Osaka Namba to set protagonist 2 Kentaro and Miki home. And you may guess, Rance causes trouble. Special forces are deployed to eliminate them. There are armored vehicles and special forces. Can I still sleep them? Let's try. Okay, it just worked. The script here is massive, yet with so many characters, some disappear after their spotlight ends. That would be such a pity, so they created meal ticket system. During a mission you can obtain up to 3, at the end you can spend or save them. Each greatly boosts the character stats, skipping grind. More importantly, each unlocks a character event of 2 to 4, basically doubling the joy from Rance quest. Just like the Cassidy tapes in Metal Gear Solid The Phantom Pain. Imagine if they were all in the main story, it would be so crowded. The war doesn't leave much room for tea and shopping. Also, many missing main story moments are found here. Honestly, just watching these long-time characters speak with each other is fine enough, and the mini-stories are better than you'd expect. As the final game, it constantly feels like it's saying farewell. The series has always rewarded attention to detail. The callbacks aren't isolated, they echo each other. Spotting one feels like being personally rewarded. Like the system goddess floats on the low screen. Yes, She's really 50 cm tall. there was a spin-off of Sengoku Rance called Slash Thrust Burn, and it was also mentioned in the character event. They didn't forget anything. Have you ever cleared an arcade game at midnight? That feeling is precious. I still remember the night I cleared Ray Crisis, one of my favorite shooting game. Finished the war mission accomplished to go home and take a shower. Oh god, I can almost smell the nostalgic air. In Rance 10, double kills are usually for New Game Plus. Single kills are grueling enough. You weaken Dark Lords painstakingly, barely scrap out victory. One struggling fight can last an hour. The game matches that with equal catharsis. The deposition of victory after hardship costs dip. Then the music kick-ass kicks your ass. And you open a rare chest. Be my guest, you earn it.
Oh. That is the taste of what I am imagining.
There are 14 endings, good and bad. On your first run, restrictions make avoiding tragic endings difficult. If a nation falls, you must watch devastating scenes, and there's no more good ending for you. Meanwhile, the manual says even bad endings matter. Collecting them grants CPs in the later runs. Rainbow After the Storm, that is still a part of the game. Eventually you reach a good ending, then the story explodes forward.
Oh, fuck! I'm sorry, okay?
And then the game dumps you into the staff role, leaving you stunned. You have no idea what the fuck is going on, while playing the most creepy and thought-provoking version of my glorious days. I really thought I was a man with cold blood and iron heart, but I can still remember myself pulling tears hearing this guitar, and crying out cast dogs. Then you realize it's not over yet. After getting some secret achievements, you will unlock a new menu option, the Part 2. You play as a mysterious new character in a specific time period, unravel the last puzzle, embark on a nostalgic short journey. You thought I'd say that? Actually, I'm very dissatisfied with Part 2. It's not that a good ending is bad, but after everything before it, it feels dull, like the awakening of the Trailblazer. Only the sections with Rance himself are interesting. Still, I saved all my fucks toward Part 2 because this ass-kicking grand ending movie. It is a symphonic medley that will feed all of your dissatisfaction, in Final Fantasy style. Long-running JRPGs often have some problems to settle depths cleanly, relying on faded memories of players to carry emotion. But here, even with flaws right in front of me, I forgave it. Maybe because Part 1 was the shit. Maybe because Part 2 was too short. God, so this is what reconciliation feels like. I've spent a lot of work on this game because something like this is rare. To taste this feast, you must finish every game before. It demands time and energy, but it's totally worth it. Those who clear the game know exactly what I mean. I avoid the detailing individual characters in this review. Words are pale when retelling. You can only feel inside the game. There are plenty of games out there with airtight lore, massive worlds, and a cast list longer than a phone book. If you still find yourself still really attached to the Rance series, then maybe it's the atmosphere doing the heavy lifting. The tag God game is the big umbrella term. Underneath it, you will find all kinds of stuff. The budgets are usually tight, the development teams are small, and a lot of these games are basically novels, with voice acting and illustrations where you control the reading speed. That's why they are often called visual novels, which means three pillars hold the whole thing up: illustration, music, and text. Not a single one can be omitted. You might notice that whenever the game is about dark lores, it emits this vibe of sexual apathy. Sorry, I can't find a better word in English. I haven't played every game under the sun, but as for that kind of restrained intensity, I only felt it in few games. For example, the champion battle in Pokemon Fire Red. And then, Super Meat Boy. JRPGs give me the impression that Japan has shot every composer with guns whose battle theme doesn't blow your head off within the first second. Almost all the music in this video is from the original soundtracks. You probably have felt this series' soundtrack is on fire. Not only is it stylistically diverse, it's confident. Overall, the Rance series music has been handled in rotation by Dragon Attack, Minazu Eru, PK Turtles, DJC++, and Shade. Every one of them contributed massively, but I want to start with Shade. When I first got into the series through Sengoku Rance, I noticed something at once. For example, this music with counterattack. Listen. The moment I heard this part, I literally sat up straight from my chair. In my mind, I could see Rance finishing a fight exhausted and still bringing him tea. Without that passage, the track would just be generic Sengoku metal. Anyway, the Sengoku Rance OST is god tier in every sense. And do you know what Shade says in the manual? He says, if even one track leaves an impression on you, that would be enough. Gods are always so humble. Sadly, Shade left Adisoft for health reasons before Rance 10's production, but he did leave behind an arranged CD. At first, I wasn't impressed with that CD. Later I wondered, were these meant for the Celestial chapter that never made it into the main line? And somehow, I fell in love with it. To me, Shade is a composer who never stops playing. He loved calling back to earlier works. Even in Daitekoku, he couldn't forget Mars. I think everybody in this world should listen to this music when planning something. There's a little anecdote. After Sengoku Rance launched, he met a guitarist from Nico Nico called Yamato. Both of them love showing off, and that's how Rance Quest CD ended up with one track that feels completely different from the rest. That is track 16, Battle Boss Boss. Early in Rance Quest, there was a tough mission called Lord of the Abyss. My team's average level was pathetically low at that time, but I slowly chipped him down with defense and poison. When I finally won, the victory screen syncs perfectly with this rolling guitar segment. I think this part is the soul of Rance Quest. I was sitting in front of my screen like this. You've had moments like that too. Those moments in your gaming life that are priceless. Actually, why don't we play here for a moment? After all, I'm not playing music enough in the previous part to share my favorite tracks. I love games with dynamic music system. Rance doesn't quite have that, but in Sengoku Rance every battle track has a pre-version that loops in the team setup screen. Love it. Remember the bonus CD from Alice 2010? That whole disc was basically Shade having a party himself. For Sengoku fans especially, 3 insanely long rearrangements on fire. When I pulled that CD off the box, I realized the empty space inside was perfectly sized for an OST, so I stuffed the Rance 01 and 03 soundtracks into the Rance 03 case. Fits perfectly. Then there's Dragon Attack, Minazeru, PK Turtles, and DJC++. After listening to the music of Rance 01, 03, and 10, I realized something. I realized that I might actually love electronic music so much. The keyboard section in Rance 10's promotion movie reminded me of Romancing Saga. Have you ever thought about what kind of music deserved to a final game in such a great series? Minazu and PK absolutely nailed it. The Rance 10's OST is another god tier album. Layered compositions never gets old. I listened to the Lisa's track for 10 hours before suddenly noticing there was an extra keyboard layer buried in the background. And I think that's definitely not because of my headphone sucks. Inside the Rance 4 box, I first saw an advertisement for Alice Soft Fan Club. You send in the form and club fee, and you'd receive newsletters filled with internal info and exclusive content. You'd even get discounts on mail order games. You can't miss it, right? Hardcore fans probably didn't hesitate. But as a newer generation player though, I can only hunt them down secondhand.
I like magazines like Nintendo Power. Those are official user club bulletins, but they are really many of them. Look at this. A bunch of treasure.
As a long-running company, Alice Soft's historical accumulation is no joke. In the 90s, they released the Battery Bomb and the Alice's Room series. I've collected almost all of them except the rarest early issues. Early magazines show how experimental they were. They even have a female-oriented brand called Alice Blue. Rance content wasn't huge back then, though characters often appears in postcard section. If you were a Rance fan, the early 2000s was the golden era to become a member. The newsletters Hanny News and Mars Emergency Vehicle had the most Rance info. I first knew them when I saw a popularity ranking from Rance 6. Rance was always number 1. Look, this food part mentions an event called Dream Party. That Kenshin Tapestry is one of the goods at Dream Party 2006. By 2004, we had Hanny Home. This bulletin feels closer to newer generation players. You'll see references to major releases of the game, like this Battlefield 2 comic, or this blog called Western Game Hell. They reviewed games like Manhunt and Deus Ex. There's even a tiny note lamenting not knowing English. What's the big deal? I don't know Japanese either. Reading these magazines is fun. A game company's gaming taste does matter. Hey, is that a Dodonpachi reference? As for Rance Post 5D, each magazine included Orion's Rance Chronicle Plus, expanding hidden lore and settings. Many lore videos use this as a source. These Orion Sketch Army sections are packed with concept art. If you play the games, you can stare at those pages forever. You even see unreleased development material, like the scrapped Sengoku Rance UI. I'm glad they killed it. That mirror portrait looks incredibly weird. I just don't know why. Alisoft released 3 art books for their popular illustrators. For Rance fans, Orion's is the most important. It's significant. You can't possibly buy every piece of merch or magazine featured. I once heard a specific issue of Tech Giant had an exclusive 5D illustration, and yes, I bought it. But what about all those calendar prints, newsletter images, website banner? There's always something you don't know. Remember that limited Orion scribbles I showed before? Over 4,000 sketches. My first thought was how much treasure is still out there. Orion still posts new settings on Twitter, mostly about Rance 10. Back during Rance 6, they released a setting book including characters who never appeared in-game. It's not thick, but pure density. After 6, they stopped doing standalone setting books. You'd only get scraps in manuals. Back to the art book, it is not flawless. Why are the in-game portraits shrunk down so tiny here? The pacing is weird too. You got several small images, then suddenly a fucking big one. That character isn't even especially important. You mean I can't see high-def portraits in-game? What were they thinking? Maybe the only uniquely valuable part is the full-body illustration from 02. Those really aren't viewable in-game. Here's an unofficial Sengoku Rance fan magazine. It includes fan comics. Some pages are thick hard stock. They printed a Sengoku Rance board game using in-game screenshots. If I punch it out, the book is fucked, but leaving them in makes it impossible to flip pages without snapping pieces off. You know what's bullshit? Why don't they make in a separate booklet? What were they thinking? All of you understand how important fan art are to those games' lifespan like doujinshi. The game leaves just enough blank space for imagination. You only see Rance's perspective, but the world's charm just goes far beyond him alone. For example, those 2 swords capable for cutting invincible barriers, Demon Sword Chaos and Holy Blade Sunlight, belong to a 5-member Demon King slaying squad long ago called the Eternal 5 Heroes. Here's an artist who specialized in drawing stories about those 5. The game barely elaborates on them, but he still created volumes of comics. What a giant.
Of course, sex is important, but what we really need may be more tales and stories, or something just like What If.
Here are some official manga. It's porn, so I'm showing the others. Honestly, it's just fine. I didn't buy it for the sex scenes. I buy it to see storylines that never made it into Rance 10, because Rance 10 is rushed. It has regrets. The 2014 OVA wasn't the animation only. There's also the 1994 Guardian of the Desert. I only have it on Laserdisc. Unfortunately, I don't own a Laserdisc player. Different interpretations are always interesting. By the way, the version of Rance was voiced by Kazuki Yao. Oh my, Rance, you even piloted a Double Zeta Gundam?
That's all, folks. As video games, they're good. No diarrhea, but some wet fart do exist. So you better try it yourself. And I guess I have to leave Rance for a while. So, good night. Sleep tight. Thanks for watching this episode of Game Nostalgia. Actually, I should have it done a long time ago, but I really want to do it an excellent work, so I take action recently.
This series has become my favorite video game franchise of all time. Usually, I don't recommend the games I love that much. I prefer closing the door and keep it to myself. But man, only young once. I want to honestly record my feelings while they are still burning. Finishing Hentai Prison recently reinforced that thought.
This video is here to pay a tribute to my hero James Rolfe. Not only his angry video game nerd, but also his movie comment.
You can't imagine how magnetic he is when he talks about the thing he loves. That love and passion reminds us who we are in this chaos world. Over the past few years, I've gained many life experience, not all of them encouraging. But every time I remember successfully producing the last episode, I feel proud to myself. This time, I tried many new things. I'll even release a director's commentary track later.
I'll be so proud if this video makes you laugh and shake your pants. I mean, how many chances do someone get to laugh his ass off during his lifetime? I don't know. So Happy New Year! 新年快乐!